Hello RuneScape, Woolmasit here with a new video and how is everyone doing? So I'm a very competitive player. When there's anything to be best at, I like to participate in that since it kinda gives me that competition feel which I think games should have. And when the Arc was released now 3 years ago, it came with a set of different high-level training methods on the Uncharted Isles. What I found very interesting was that the game tracked how many resources you had collected. So while I was fishing for invention, or fishvention as we sporty kids call it, I kept sorta up to date on who had the most wobblegongs and all that jazz. At some point, a GM had posted the top 3 in each category on Twitter, and I was actually 3rd place for the most wobblegongs in the game at the time, which was pretty cool for the young lad that I was. Now as mentioned, that stuff was 3 years ago and 135k wobblegongs, though still a lot, it's no longer that impressive. So the other week I started wondering who actually has the most resources in the different quick chats. Currently, RuneScape has 15 different quick chats for different achievements gained on the Arc Uncharted Isles, which also means 15 different records to keep. You can pause the video if you want to read them over, cause I'm not gonna read all of the titles out, you guys can read. If you just want to know how far off you are the champion in any of these, then you got the timestamp for each of them here. Then you can just jump around as you please, or stick around for all of it, whatever you prefer. Anyway, the big issue here is that there is no easy tracker on these achievements. There's no high score and nobody who's voluntarily keeping track, so I had to put my investigative hat on and go look for them myself. I actually do want to give myself some credit here, you guys have no idea. I did some serious digging for this video. I entered just about every large Iron Man clan in the game. I created a post on Reddit. I was tipped about players that I had to manually track down from the average player on the street to the #1 hardcore Iron Man in the game. I really worked hard on finding these people and I'm extremely thankful for everyone who helped me out. That was really nice. Also, as a disclaimer of sorts, I couldn't really ask Jagex for a list as it wouldn't be able to give me any usernames even if I did ask. I probably could have gotten the actual numbers that way though, but I wanted to find the people connected to them as well, so I decided to do it manually instead. And with that 2-minute intro out of the way, let's take a look at 15 incredible Arc and Uncharted Isles achievements. When I started my endeavor to find the best of the best, I didn't actually know how popular the island of Twilight was. Then I learned of the berries there, which for Iron Man gives quite decent XP, and is also required for the comp cape and stuff. So it made complete sense that I found a ton of Iron Man with thousands of berries, some with well over 100,000 berries grown on Twilight. And that's why it's also kinda ironic that the one with the most berries is not an Iron Man, has 5.4 billion XP and a trim completion escape, giving him no reason at all to do anything on Twilight. Let me introduce you to Fountain Regime. Very likely the player with the most berries on Twilight no matter what, as he have grown a combined total of 182,457 berries on Twilight. Following him, he's not skipped a single day since the release of this content, doing it for no gain or retention at all, which might be more weird than impressive. Now, with the second category, fish caught on Waco and whales moss docks, I struggled quite a lot. Most people didn't really consider this one as anything of notice, so a lot of people didn't mention this one when I asked for Arc stats, while those who did didn't really have all that much to show for, so I'm not gonna make that big of a deal out of it. However, the player I found with the most fish caught here was Lot Dragons with a total count of 28,701. She says she did this for invention but didn't want all the hassle of having to find wobblegongs, so instead, Whale's Maw would have to do. Still quite a lot though, to be fair. So it turns out that pickpocketing Waco and the closest villagers' pockets is a pretty decent way for purist skillers to obtain clue scrolls, which makes them popular in order to obtain mid-tier clues. One big fan of the art of theft is the Combat 4 skiller Red Tunnel, who have picked a combined total of, hold on for this one, 1,757,796 Waco and the closest villagers' pockets. As a result of this, Red's got quite the impressive clue history, which includes 2 3rd age dice. He was also the very first skiller to fully max out without the use of bought keys on Treasure Hunter, which is pretty nice. Oh yeah, he's also got 2 records on this list. Turns out he's also the one with the most common spirits, with a number of 5,431 spirits caught. Though I don't think his pickpocketing number can be beaten very easily, his common spirits might be, so that could be interesting. Well done. We're heading over to the Uncharted Isles, and the only way to get there is through visiting an island, which makes me wonder, who has visited the most islands? This one is a bit tricky. In 2017, Modlari could tell me that whoever had visited the most islands at the time had done so 13,196 times. However, whoever that magical beast is, I couldn't find him. And I really tried, guys. The most I did find in my search, however, was the legendary hardcore Iron Man Llama Ore, who had visited a total of 6,402 islands. Ah, bamboo. The straw of life, the wood of the Caribbean, a solid way for some people to gain 200 million woodcutting XP. This as well was a very popular Iron Man skilling method, and yet another non-Iron Man who holds the record, and it was not actually done on the Uncharted Isles, but on Waiko. The player Slave has set herself a goal of chopping down 1 million bamboo. Up to this point, she's chopped a total of 383,906 bamboo, or golden bamboo. As mentioned, this was all done on Waiko, which gives unlimited access to bamboo, but quite slow XP. Which means for people who would normally chop in the Uncharted Isles would have way over 200 million XP at this point. Slave only has 156 million woodcutting XP. The Tortle hunt was very interesting. Most people with 200 million XP in Hunter that I found had between 45k and 70k Tortles caught, which makes it really impressive that the record is held by the player Milo with 111,187 Tortles caught. And that is purely because of a Hunter Pet dry streak, where we took Milo from 5 million XP in the skill to gain an additional 210 million XP, being 15 million past the 200 mil cap before he finally received a Hunter Pet. Interestingly enough, the second place spot for this record is 111,111 by hardcore Iron Man Skulljugger Hayc, just 76 Tortles below Milo's record. So most people aim for chimes, which means gathering ancestral energy is not the most efficient way to go, since it's not a component for shark soups, the most efficient chime gathering method. So naturally, most people did not have a ton of energy stored up. By coincidence, I was told about Kasret, a player aiming to prestige the memory of Gothix D&D 250 times, which is the max cap. In order to do so, she has to collect 4,108 strands from divination energy. So far, Kasret have prestiged 219 times, getting her up to the record number of 402,699 ancestral energies. So we talked about berries grown on Twilight, but those are different from the extra berries you collect on the Arc, and they have two separate quick chats, so growing berries is one thing, collecting them is another. The thing is, these fruits serve no major purpose, so people had no reason to collect them. In fact, most people I talked to didn't even realize that this was a thing. In addition that the berries you pick on Twilight is different from the ones you pick on the Arc, it's easy to confuse them both. For that reason, I had a hard time finding anyone with a substantial number, but the player I found with the most was the player Lumps with 25,180 berries collected on the Arc. For those of you who have watched my content for a while, you know I saved the best for last. Meet Lamps, a skill-locked hardcore Iron Man. That's Lamps, by the way, not to be confused with Lumps, who was the previous dude. He got a U where Lamps got an A, so they're different, but they're friends, so I guess that explains the coincidence. You probably remember Red Tunnel, who had a total of 2 records on this list. Well, Lamps, he's got 6. You know, even though I'm a skiller myself, I don't actually know what the deal is with these skillers skilling like an ungodly amount on the Arc, but it's what we got, guys. This is completely random. Lamps got an aim to get enough chimes to buy XP lamps from the Waiko store in order to fund his goals like 200 million XP in Herblore or 200 million Slayer XP on his Iron Man skiller. By doing this, he's gathered far more resources than any other person I found anywhere, while getting close to 200 million XP in several of his skills. Lamps has caught a total of 409,449 wobbegongs, mined a total of 336,995 sea salt and elite salt, foraged 251,758 mushrooms and 4,976 rare mushrooms, and collected 6.3 million chimes and 3,008 G2s. So much stuff, he needed 2 suitcases to hold all of it. I was considering dropping the chime and G2 score from the video, considering they will decrease when spent, but it was interesting either way. In my search, the closest people to Lamb's massive gathering was still over 100,000 resources off, which makes me very confident he's the player with the most resources in those categories. Keep in mind, however, that there is some sort of wobbegong bug in the game currently, where quickchat will count more wobbegongs than what you actually get, and considering Lambs has 150 million fishing XP, I don't think his fishing numbers are all that accurate, but still the highest following quickchat. So before I end this video, I just want to point out again that this was all manually researched, which means one of you could be watching this video going, huh, I got more than that. Now, if that's you right now, please do quick chat me in-game. A few people comment on other videos sometimes, claiming they got stuff that could be of interest, but whenever I reply to them, they seem to fall off the side of the flat earth and never show up again, so don't stress commenting below if you got more, just message me in-game. My username is willmissit, not willmissit, willmissit. See you guys there, or at the next video. I got some juicy ones coming up. Bye!